Hi guys, so today's video is going to be my Christmas book haul, but before I get into the books, a special thank you to Jess, who makes the book community videos, and sometimes those things are about discrepancies in pay within the publishing industry, and then sometimes they're the things that go down on Twitter with the book community, and they kind of go through and they present all the facts to you, and I have just so appreciated that because of all of the efforts that they put in to getting all this information, they have a whole list of things that you can donate to that probably should be on people's radars. So I'll have one of Jess's videos linked, but also there was a conversation about the fact that there are a lot of individuals who could use some help after a natural disaster that occurred in the Philippines. So within 1 month, the estimated AdSense revenue that this book haul makes, I will share a screenshot of that, and I will be donating that money to help with the relief for that natural disaster. So again, thank you, Jess, for being willing to bring all this attention to this particular thing, especially because some of us, like myself, don't really go on Twitter and we kind of miss some important information that I think other people would be helpful for us to know. Jumping into the books, I'm going to start with the books that I got from some friends. And the first ones would be the Full Metal Alchemist Full Metal Editions 8 and 9. This was a gift from Sophia from Sophia's Thoughts. So thank you so much, Sophia. I'm so excited. They noticed I didn't have 8 and 9 on my shelf for these Full Metal editions. And if you guys don't know, I am a huge fan of Full Metal Alchemist, and as far as the anime goes, I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you have not watched it, do yourself a favor. It is so good. I would say the very first episode is like a weird pilot, and it's not my favorite. And then the first arc, it's kind of campy, a little bit typical, but then after that, it's so good. The series has so many amazing characters, Scar being one of them. It's just so many of the characters are so fantastic in Full Metal Alchemist, so I'm so excited to have these next 2 volumes. Next up would be a gift from Jessie from the channel Jessie May, and she got me the hardcover for Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. So I have the UK edition down there, but the UK editions, while they look very beautiful on the shelf, they're not the easiest to read. I know that sounds really stupid, but they kind of are very tight in the spines, and I think they actually sell taller editions now, or maybe they always have, and I just didn't get the tall ones. But either way, I was hoping to get a hardback of this at some point. But it's one of those gifts that you're like, it's the perfect gift because you don't want to buy it for yourself. Because I'm like, I have it already and I don't need another edition. But I do love it, and I do like having multiple editions, even though I know it's silly. But I'm so excited that she got it for me. I have been on the hunt. Every time I would go to my local used bookstore, I would always look for this hardback, and I never have been able to get it, so she got it for me. The next friend would be Jade from Bedtime Bookworm. She got me Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, which was one of the nonfiction books that I was hoping to read this year. I've heard really good things about this. She's really liked it. Cindy from the channel Read with Cindy also said a lot of really good things about this book. And Jade and I had quite the year. Jade, she's been open about this. I'm not disclosing. She has a video about it. But she had some things happen this year that were really, really difficult for her. And then I, many of you know, lost my dad this year. Had to deal with a lot of very unprofessional, unhelpful people in the healthcare industry that I think kind of resulted in a lot of the things that went wrong with my father's health. So we both have had a lot of things happen, and we've been lucky to have each other. But also, she got this book and she's like, I know it's not the most fun book, but I thought you would really like it because, one, I gave her a list. I gave her a list of books that I was interested in because I asked her to give me a list. So that way we could make sure that we got each other books that we wanted, but we wanted to have it be a little bit of a surprise. So she got me this one. This was one of the ones on the list. And I'm so grateful she did because I definitely could probably use it. And also, I just think in general, it has a lot to do with mental health and emotions, and probably always a good thing to learn how to deal with those things a little better. My friend Joshana from the channel Joshana C got me 2 books because she had to outdo my other friends. Just kidding. She outdid me. I got her 1 this year. But either way, she got me House in the Cerulean Sea. I always think it's House on the Cerulean Sea, but it's House in the Cerulean Sea, which everybody says is a hug in a book, and that it's the most precious thing ever. And it follows this social worker within this fantasy world who meets these children in an orphanage, and apparently it's just the most precious, heartwarming thing in the world. So I'm very excited. I've heard pretty much everybody love it. And if they don't love it, they at least like it or think it's pretty good. I haven't seen anybody that's like, I hate this book or anything, so that's great. She also got me the new Jim Crow. Both of these were on the list that I gave her. I know that she has loved this book. Loved maybe isn't the right word. She finds this book very impactful and an important read, and I'm wanting to read more nonfiction this next year, and since she always highly recommends this one, I had it on my list, and she got it for me. Now to the books that my lovely husband got me. First up, this is going to look exactly like the edition I had before. This is The Knife of Never Letting Go. This is actually a taller edition. My husband bought me the trilogy because I read this book this year and really enjoyed it, and so he got me a set where they're a little taller and they all match really nicely. They're a little more flexible than the edition that I had. So you can see the other two over there. So I now have the whole trilogy. I really want to binge those next two. I think that the movie adaptation has been pushed back, which gives me a little more time to try to read the whole trilogy before the movie comes out. He also got me the illustrated edition of The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I've never read any Neil Gaiman, which I feel like is a crime. But I was gifted by one of you quite a while ago, American Gods, and I was planning on having that be my first Gaiman book. But then a lot of you were like, that's not the best one to start with. Funny enough, when I asked why, a lot of you were like, I don't know, I just don't like it as much as some of the other ones, or I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a good one. So I don't exactly know why it's not the best one to start with, but a lot of people told me that, and this edition is just absolutely gorgeous of this book. So he was like, I'm going to go off list and I'm going to get her this really pretty book. Hopefully she loves it. It's shorter and I've heard it's a way better introduction to Gaiman. My husband and I, we definitely kind of went all out this year with buying each other presents because we've had such a difficult year, and we're like, you know what? I'm not saying things make life better, but we just really were excited to give each other presents because we've had a tough year. So he got me a lot. He also got me Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, and I've heard quite good things, and the things I've heard that aren't as positive actually make me even more excited because some people say they wish that there was more world building in this book, and I'm kind of like, I love adult fantasy, but sometimes I'm like, ugh, I don't need all these details. So I'm actually really excited to hear that, and I've heard it's really unique, and it's, I believe, Mayan-inspired fantasy, which sounds really cool. I'm really excited. I've heard really great things, and I'm hoping to read it sometime in the first half of the year. Also, so this one is quite a few books. My friend Joshana, a while back, she loves the Throne of Glass series. So for her birthday, I got her these really beautiful special covers, alternate sleeves that were sold by the company Nerdy Inc. They're very custom, awesome looking sleeves. And I was like, dang, I almost want to buy all Throne of Glass because those are so cool, and because my friend loves the series so much. I did read the first 3 a while back, and they were fun, but they weren't my absolute favorite ever. And I was like, it's kind of a long series. I'll probably move on and, read something else. But lately I've been getting an itch to go back and read these and finish the series out just because my friend loves it so much. And it does seem like a good, fun series between a lot of the adult fantasy books to kind of just hop in and have a good time and be along for the ride kind of a thing. And then these editions, I was like, dang, they're so cool. So my husband got me the hardcovers, and then we got the really awesome sleeves for these. They still make a funny noise because they came totally flat and you have to wrap them around yourself. But I actually have the entire series with the exception of the prequel right now. So I feel like now I look like I'm like a Sarah J. Maas stan because not only do I have pretty much the whole series of Throne of Glass, but I have them in a fancy edition. And one of the books that I bought myself this year for kind of like a Christmas present because my friend loves Sarah J. Maas so much was the Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. I never know which one's actually the title and then which one is the series name. But Crescent City, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I don't hate Sarah J. Maas's writing style. I did try the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I read the first one, I was like, it was fine. And then I read some of the second one, and I DNF'd it because I have nothing against romance and fantasy, but that one was like a little too romance heavy, I think, for what I was wanting. And so I was like, this isn't really for me. But I don't totally hate her writing style, and I do think that she has a way of writing really fun books. So I'm actually super excited for this one. But it's so funny because every time I talk about potentially reading some of these, more fun books, there are always people who are like, no, don't do it. I'm like, wow. You guys, it's okay if I read this book. I'm not forcing you to read it. The last book, though, that my husband got me was The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. So I have read and enjoyed basically everything I've read by V.E. Schwab. I really enjoyed the Shades of Magic trilogy. I really enjoyed Vicious and Vengeful. I enjoyed her young adult This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet. I've always liked what she's written. So I was like, well, I haven't read The Near Witch, but I'll read basically whatever she puts out. She also has Addie LaRue, and then she has the Archive series, and then I think she has a middle grade, City of Ghosts or something. That lady writes a lot of books. But, I'm always interested in them, so he very nicely got me another one of her books. I also got myself a few more books. One of the ones I got was a series that I have seen Q and TG talk about a lot, and I've never seen anybody else really talk about it, but I love them. If you guys have not watched Q and TG, do yourself a favor, go watch them. They're the best. They're so great. Every time they make a video, it just brings your whole day is better. So definitely go watch them. They're amazing. But they recommended this series. It's super short. I don't know basically anything about it, but they recommended it. So I decided to get it. I hope I like it. I also picked up Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians by Brandon Sanderson, and this is his middle grade series. He actually had just released his State of the Sanderson, which I'll have my reaction and takeaways video linked down below if you're interested, but I think he said that these are going to get a reprint, of course. So I don't know, if I would, even if I like it, I don't know if I'll continue getting these editions, but either way, I don't know if I'm going to like it because I enjoy both young adult and adult fantasy, but middle grade is tough for me because it's just a little too young most of the time, and Brandon Sanderson's YA books already lean pretty young for YA in my opinion, as far as tone, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about this series, but I did really, really enjoy The Rhythmatist, and I've had some people say, if you like The Rhythmatist, you should check out Evil Librarians, Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians, because it's a lot of fun. So I'm hoping, and I do want to find more fun middle grade because I have 2 little nieces, and I like the idea that as they get a little older and start reading some of the a little bit more older middle grade books, that I'll be able to recommend, their Tia can recommend them some fun books. Another book that I got a lot So my friend Deshauna, who I've mentioned quite a few times in this video already, she read it and she really liked this book quite a bit. It seems to be inspired by Native American folklore. I believe the character can summon the spirits of animals, which I think is awesome. And I'm hoping to do an animal companion mythological creature readathon this next year. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for that. So I'm super, super excited. I've heard really good things, and this was, I believe, on that Time, the very controversial Time 100 Best Fantasy Books of All Time. I think this made the cut, even though it had just come out, but I have been hearing very good things. I'm excited to find out if I agree. That's it, though, for everything I got for Christmas. I hope you all had a lovely holiday for those of you that celebrate. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Bye.